Kalala Yahweh. Boah, Shuma Mashak Yahweh. Shema Yasharahla Yahweh Alahaya Nawa Akadaba Mashpaka. Shalom, may peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. So this is a sharp rebuke. Several different videos, all into a compilation, Salat. And I'm going to let it play. I'm going to give my commentary, and then we're going to cut this all up with the scriptures. So, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Our next contestant is Warren. Okay, so there's no more balloons. A message from God. Hey, what you say gonna happen? Worldwide earthquake, July 15th at 6 p.m. Judgment begins at the house of God, August the 29th at 6 p.m. Jesus Christ returns to judge the world and end it. You have no more. Wait, come here. And what gonna happen though? Worldwide earthquake. What, you know what today's day is? Yes, I do. What it is? The 23rd. Of what? Of May. And what gonna happen? July the 15th at 6 p.m. How many days left? 52. Alright. Hey, yeah. You an angel. An angel sent you down here to tell me that. Put my motherfucking bag down. I fucking hate you, man. I fucking hate you guys. I hate that the only way we can be married is if you guys ask us. Fuck you guys, because none of you guys want to get married. But when I throw one of y'all bitch asses in my trunk, I bet y'all marry me now. I'm gonna fucking throw y'all in my trunk and lock you guys in my motherfucking closet. If I don't become a fucking wife! Our next contestant is Warren.
All right. So, y'all seen all that, right? Y'all seen all that. So, starting with the first woman, the Israelite sister who says it's very hard making friends as an Israelite woman. You know, she's going off just making that video and explaining that. She's going off for even telling everybody she run across that she's an Israelite. You don't have to do that, all right? The very fact that you're existing, you're an Israelite, okay? Whether you practice the faith or not, by blood, you're an Israelite. Then you have the one woman who's scratching her head, looking around with the caption over her head stating that no one in the scriptures ever possessed the Bible or read a Bible. You know, she's just a wicked ass witch that's scoffing. That's all she is. You know what I'm saying? We're going to cut her up too. Then you had the older gentleman trying to prophesy, saying that the Messiah is going to return on July 15th of this year, 2026. He just a bug out. He don't know what the hell is going on. He's just saying a whole bunch of nothing, and we're gonna cut that up with the scriptures. Then you had the one woman throwing a fit, talking about she better get a husband or somebody better marry her, or she's gonna kidnap somebody and throw them in the trunk and force them to marry her. Man, we already know what's going on with her. We know what's up with her just by her whole disposition. You know what I'm saying? We already know what's up with that woman that she been ran through, and she wants one of them men to take her seriously, or, you know, she just talking out of frustration, talking about, yeah, I better marry me, I'm gonna throw you in my trunk, bet you do that. And you see here, she posing for the camera and stuff while she's in her spandex, trying to show off the curvature that she got. I mean, it's all over her face and disposition that she's ran through. She's ran through and she's miserable. And yet she's trying to project that into all men, talking about, I hate y'all. Y'all don't want to get married. I better become a wife. What it say here? If I don't become a wife, I'm going to become a menace to society and start a group with women. What it say? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, she going off, and we're going to cut her up with the scriptures. So let's go back to this sister here. She says, making friends as a Hebrew woman. Okay, first and foremost, you shouldn't be in front of the camera talking all this nonsense. Okay? You shouldn't be talking all this nonsense. And we already know you're a bug out. She got her screen name right here. Mountain Mama 888. So she got them angel numbers. So she's just one of these worldly Israelites that are convoluted in all type of different doctrines. She's probably a witch, most likely. And she's vainglorious on the fact that she's an Israelite. Okay? Listen, it is nobody's business. It is nobody's business to know what your faith is. Okay? And it's a lot of you unlearned, foolish Israelites that are going around parading to everybody, and you just can't keep your mouth shut. Oh, I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. You're doing that to your own destruction. Okay? You're doing that to your own destruction. The world doesn't rock with the Most High. And the fact that you proclaim your faith like that, you're telling the world that, hey, I'm your enemy. That's what you're doing. So it's nobody's business to know your faith. I mean, you don't have to tell anybody you're an Israelite because you're an Israelite just existing. By blood, you're an Israelite, whether you practice the faith, you rehearse the righteous acts or not. You're either a righteous Israelite or you're a wicked Israelite of the world. Okay? Let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. It reads, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You still got to function in society. And being over righteous is not going to allow you to function in society appropriately. You're going to face unnecessary opposition and challenges because of your vainglorious pride of being an Israelite. You just got to tell everybody you come across that you're an Israelite and you practice the faith of an Israelite. And then she got the pop the balloon sounds going off, saying that, to show as a sign of how she gets rejected trying to make friends. Furthermore, let's go to Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 through 4. This is Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 through 4. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. So you don't necessarily have to tell everybody you're an Israelite. You don't have to tell everybody of your morality, of your faith. Because when you're doing so, you're making a proclamation that you're better than them. And if they're of the world, they're going to take it some type of way. Just by you saying you do this and you do that, it don't need an explanation. If they find out that you don't want to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, they don't need an explanation as to why you don't. You just tell them, nah, I don't like it. It don't taste too good to me. They don't need a full explanation. You can just say, I don't like it. Especially if these people are associates or colleagues. You can't be rubbing elbows like that with the world anyway. So yeah, your friendship is going to be very low. You're going to have more associates than anything. And whoever is practicing the faith that is an Israelite, they'll catch on. You won't have to tell it to them. Y'all will click. The Spirit will bring y'all together. Y'all will click. Because certain things you don't do will be certain things they don't do. And then the Spirit will open up that conversation naturally. But if you're going around parading saying, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, you're just setting yourself up for trouble. You're going to create unnecessary opposition for yourself. That's what you're going to do. Let's jump to Sirach, chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 2. This is Sirach, chapter 6, verse 2. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying along. That's that self-destruction from over righteousness. That's that self-destruction from vainglory. That's that self-destruction of you extolling yourself on the fact that you're an Israelite. Working out the counsel of your own heart. Not moving wise as serpents and harmless as doves, as Yaharahla told us to be. Notice, you barely see snakes outside. They stay out the way. And I'm talking about snakes, the actual reptiles, not into a figurative language of people that are snakes. I'm talking about the actual reptile, the animal. You rarely ever see a snake outside, yet they're all around us. Right now, with this woman being out in this wooden area, there's plenty of snakes around her, but they stay out the way. They remain incognito. So figuratively speaking, that's how Yaharahla was telling us to move. You don't put a bright red target on yourself by letting everybody know you're an Israelite and you follow the law, statutes, and commandments of God and the faith of the Messiah. Because basically you're just telling them you're better than them. They don't need to know that. You move wisely. There's just certain things you don't have to talk about, certain things, certain conversations and discussions you avoid. Otherwise, you'll be torn in pieces like a bull straying alone, like lions just tearing up on a bull. Sirach chapter 6, verse 3. Thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruits and leave thyself as a dry tree. Doing what this woman's doing here is part of the reason why many people fall out the truth. Yeah, that's why. Because the world eats them up and tears them to pieces because they're trying to fit their faith into the world among the people that they have to deal with. Their leaves get eaten up, they lose their fruit, and then they become a dry, dead tree, bearing no more fruit, producing no more fruit, just dead, reprobate. Sirach chapter 6, verse 4. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. So doing this is a form of wickedness because you're not following what Yaharahla told us to do. Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, because you're as sheep sent into the midst of wolves. So if you are out in the open parading yourself and your faith as such, that's what happens. That's what happens. So it is a form of wickedness to be this way, to be vainglorious on the fact that you're an Israelite. You're doing it for the vanity of it. You're not doing it sincerely. So it's wickedness. And that wickedness shall destroy you and have you become scorned and laughed at of your enemies. Sirach chapter 6, verse 5. Sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Truth be told, it is hard to have a fair speaking tongue and sweet language professing the faith of Yasharahla. Because rebuke is a part of the faith. And you're not going to make any type of strategic alliances in order to move throughout this Babylonian society effectively, nor are you going to be able to have your own network of people that you have to cooperate with. You're going to get all type of dysfunction professing this in front of others. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. So just the fact of you professing that you're an Israelite and you practicing all the righteous acts in front of these people and speaking the righteous acts, it's going to stir up the demons on them and have them act against you with unnecessary opposition. Wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Sirach chapter 6, verse 6. Be in peace with many, nevertheless have one counselor out of 1,000. One counselor out of 1,000. That counselor is Mashiach. He said, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Be at peace or be in peace with many. Being wise as serpents, harmless as doves. It's hard to do that professing the faith every day in front of the people that you have to work with, the people that you have to deal with. You professing that faith every day to them. Yes, you're going to have all type of opposition against yourself. And you cause it being over righteous. Sirach chapter 6, verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. So just professing that you're an Israelite to everybody you meet, you being too hasty to credit them. That's what you're doing. You're being too hasty to credit them. Therefore, you get all type of unnecessary opposition from those people of the world. First and foremost, the fact that you know you're an Israelite is for you and you only. It's not your job, especially as a woman, to try to recruit other people to be in the faith. Yeah, we're going to go back to what Yahweh said here. John chapter 15, verse 16. This is John chapter 15, starting at verse 16. John chapter 15, starting at verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Your fruit is your faith and your works. So you're either going to just be called or you're going to be chosen. This woman most likely called. She's not chosen because she's working with angel numbers in her TikTok tag, and she's probably a witch. Ain't no telling. But we know she out of pocket for even making this video here. Verse 17, John 15, verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another. Verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. So yeah, you're going to have opposition against the world or from the world regardless. But you amplify it, parading around talking about you're an Israelite. You don't do this, you don't do that, I'm an Israelite. No, the world doesn't need to know that. The world doesn't need to know your faith. You're better off telling them you're a Christian if they push for it. You better off saying that than to say you're an Israelite. Because in actuality, we're the true Mashiachim, right? We take the Greek terminology out of it. It's Mashiachim. We're the true quote unquote Christians, quote unquote. But you're better off telling them that you're just a Christian if they really push for it. Yeah, I'm Christian. Yeah, I believe in the Bible. I believe in Jesus. Yeah. Just to get them off your back. You better off telling them that. You're being wise as a serpent. And by the way, the world knows Yasharahla as Jesus. So you speak the world's language. This is how you survive and you get by. You got to be as wise as a serpent, like Yasharahla said. John 15, verse 19. If ye were of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So you got it. A lot of you all don't realize what you've been chosen for or called for, and you don't realize the severity of it. Yasharahla just told us that because he chose us out of the world, therefore the world hates us. The world hates us because he chose you out of it. But then again, you're probably just called. Matthew 22 verse 14 says, for many are called, but few are chosen. So a lot of these Israelites that know that they're Israelites, you just been called. You're not truly chosen because you don't operate accordingly. You parade it around, you talk about it, you don't really do all the righteous acts like you're supposed to. You're not doing too much of what you need to be doing, but you're constantly running your mouth. Running your mouth on things you shouldn't be running your mouth about. That's cut up and rebuked. Now this woman here, she says no one in the Bible ever possessed a Bible. So as we can see here, she's just trying to look cute and stuff. She's most likely a witch her damn self. She just want to look cute for the camera. You know, let's go ahead and cut her up. She says no one ever in the Bible possessed the Bible. That shows how idiotic and unlearned this wicked woman is. She's just scoffing just to be scoffing and talking shit and just trying to look cute for the camera. That's all the hell she's doing. But we'll go ahead and prove her wrong right now. We'll start all the way in the earliest portions of the Bible, which is Torah. We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 31, starting at verse 24. This is Deuteronomy chapter 31, starting at verse 24. And it reads, and it came to pass when Moses had made an end of the writings of the words of this law in a book until they were finished. So Moses wrote up all the laws, statutes, and commandments in a book. So what is she talking about? No one in the Bible ever possessed a Bible. She just want to scoff and look cute in front of the camera, and the Most High is going to destroy her wicked ass. Deuteronomy 31 verse 25, that Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, verse 26, take this book of the law. See, the Bible is called the book of the law throughout the scriptures. But she wouldn't know that because she's too busy being an unbeliever, a wicked, wretched unbeliever. Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your power, that it may be there for a witness against thee. Yeah. Why is it a witness against thee? It's a witness against this woman right now. It's a witness against this wicked ass witch right now. Verse 27, Deuteronomy 31, 27. For I know thy rebellion. For I know thy rebellion. For I know thy rebellion. Oh, this wicked ass witch right here just got cut the hell up. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Yeah, speaking right now to her ass in real time. And thy stiff neck. Behold, while I'm yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against Yahweh. And how much more after my death? See, we got the words that was written down by Mashah in the book of the law, speaking as a witness against this wicked witch right now. Deuteronomy 31, 27. That's what we just read. Cutting this woman up in real time. Boy, Man, let's go ahead and further prove her wrong and cut her up some more in 2 Kings. This is 2 Kings chapter 22, starting from the top. 2 Kings chapter 22, starting from the top. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign. So Josiah was one of the righteous kings of Yasharahla. And he reigned 31 years in Yasharahla. And his mother's name was Jedediah. Salakia. Jedediah. Salakia. The daughter of Adiah of Baskath. Verse 2. And he did... Salakia. I got a phone call there. Salakia. 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 Verse 2. So this is 2 Kings chapter 22, verse 2. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, and walked in all the way of Dawid his father. That's David, King David. And he turned not aside to the right hand or to the left. Verse 3. And it came to pass in the 18th year of King Josiah that the king sent Shaphan, Salakia, Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, the son of Meshulam, the scribe, to the house of Yahweh, saying, Go up to Hilkiah the high priest, that he may sum the silver which is brought unto the house of Yahweh, which the keepers of the door have gathered of the people. Okay, so he's instructing them to go to Hilkiah the the high priest, Salakia. Verse 5, and let them deliver it into the hand of the doers of the work that have the oversight of the house of Yahweh, and let them give it to the doers of the work which is in the house of Yahweh to repair the breaches of the house. Verse 6, unto carpenters and builders and masons, and to buy timber and hewn stone to repair the house. Verse 7, howbeit there was no reckoning made with them of the money that was delivered into their hand, because they dealt faithfully. Verse 8, here's the kicker. And Hilkiah the high priest said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of Yahweh. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. No one in the Bible ever possessed the Bible, stupid damn witch. Shut the hell up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I read all of that just to build to the climax of Hilkiah, the high priest, reading or possessing the Bible, which is called the book of the law. That's what the Bible is called throughout the scriptures, the book of the law. Now we're going to jump to First Esdras. We're going to go into one of the hidden books of the prophet Esdras, just to cut this witch up some more. Just want to get in front of the camera and look cute. Don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is First Esdras, chapter 9, verse 40. Salakia. This is First Esdras, chapter 9, verse 40. So Esdras, the chief priest, brought the law unto the whole multitude from man to woman, and to all the priests to hear law in the first day of the 7th month. Verse 41. And he read in the broad court before the holy porch from morning unto midday, before both men and women, and the multitude gave heed unto the law. And Esdras, the priest and reader of the law, stood up upon a pulpit of wood, which was made for that purpose. And there stood up by him Mattathias, Samus, Ananias, Azarias, Urias, Ezekias, Balasamus upon the right hand. Verse 44, and upon his left hand stood Phaedaius, Misael, Melchias, Lothasubas, and Nabarius. Verse 45, then took Esdras the book of the law. Then took Esdras the book of the law. Then took Esdras the book of the law before the multitude, for he sat honorably in the first place in the sight of them all. Verse 46, and when he opened the book of the law, Salakia, when he opened the law, they stood all straight up. So Esdras blessed Yahweh Elohim, the power of hosts, Almighty. So this damn witch here don't know what the hell she talking about. She just being a scoffer and an unbeliever. Most High gonna deal with her. Boy, what's up? I'm gonna let this. Okay, now this guy here, this is the one that you saw where he was talking about judgment and the Messiah is going to return July 19th or July 15th, whatever he said, someday in July, right? July 15th at 6 p.m. judgment begins at the house of God. This is just a bug out here. This man is just a pure bug out. Salaki. This man's a bug out. And whoever this dude is recording him don't know nothing either. And see, this is the worst part. This is the worst part. Okay? This is what's going to hold everybody in the world accountable. Because the truth is out. Okay? The truth has already been out. It spread to the four corners of the earth. The majority of the world, a great portion of the world, if not the whole world already, knows about the Israelites, and they know about the doctrine of the Most High that is spoken through the mouth of the prophets. But yet, the world continues to scoff and mock the prophets that have returned to the earth. So you rather listen to this bug out man than you would the actual prophets. After you done heard the message, but you write it off as something wicked. You write it off as something as a quote unquote cult. Or you listen to the prophets and you try to take that information and still use it against the prophets, which doesn't work neither. It's double destruction. You're going to be destroyed either way because you're trying to get this information as a thief and a robber, trying to get that information going another way instead of through the sheepfold. So, there's going to be no pity for you damn 2/3 out there that just refuse to listen or to obey and return back to the law, statutes, commandments, and faith of Yahweh Shah. All right? And this is a bug out who's one of them. So, technically, to believe this man or any other person who tries to tell you when, the day, and the time the Most High is going to send his son back, you're speaking blasphemy. Okay? You're speaking blasphemy and you're making that person an idol. Yeah? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're basically calling this man God, the Most High himself. You're calling it, if you take heed to anybody saying, oh, the Messiah is going to return on this date at this time, you're basically saying, oh, you're the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. So that's the blasphemy. That's the magnitude of blasphemy that you are participating in by listening to any fool who tries to tell you when the Messiah is going to return. And we're going to prove it with the scriptures. We're going to prove it with the scriptures. Let's go ahead and get to it. This is Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 23. This is Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Mashiach, or there, believe it not. Believe it not. Believe it not. Believe it not. Verse 24, for there shall rise false Mashiachs and false prophets. Like this man here, false prophet, talking about judgment begins on July 15th. The Messiah is going to return. Yeah, he's a false prophet. And shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So this is a great sign right now. This is a great sign and wonder because it went viral. This right here is a great sign and wonder because it went viral. That's why it's a great sign and wonder. So he's a false prophet producing a great sign and wonder. And in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So they're not deceiving us because we know what's up. The hopeful elect. We don't know who's elect, but those who know this, you're a lot closer to being of the elect than someone who believes this bullshit coming out this man's mouth. Verse 34. This is Matthew 24, starting at verse 34. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Salah. Verse 35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man. But of that day and hour knoweth no man. But of that day and hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So Yahushua says he doesn't even know the day he's going to return. He doesn't know, the angels doesn't know, only Yahweh knows. So basically to believe any man that says the day and time that Yahushua is going to return, you're basically saying you're the Most High Almighty, which is great blasphemy. So that's the only reason why this is going viral, because it's a great wonder. It's a great sign and wonder that's leading many people to the path of destruction. And that's all we needed to cut this man up. Now let's go to the other video here. I'm gonna let it play through.
Judgment begins at the house of God, August the 29th at 6 p.m. Jesus Christ returns to judge the world and end it. You have no more. Wait, come here. And what's gonna happen though? Worldwide earthquake. What, you know what today's day is? Yes, I do. What it is? The 23rd. Of what? Of May. And what's gonna happen? July the 15th at 6 p.m. How many days left? At 52. Alright. Hey, yeah. Are you an angel? An angel sent you down here to tell me that.
Motherfucking bag down.
Okay, this woman here. This woman here. So we're gonna cut her up. I'm gonna let it play just so we can see the foolishness she said, and then we're gonna cut her ass up. Take it back for a little bit. I'm gonna let it play.
Put my motherfucking bag down. I fucking hate you, man. I fucking hate you guys. I hate that the only way we can be married is if you guys ask us. Fuck you guys, because none of you guys want to get married. But when I throw one of y'all bitch ass.
So, you know, she doesn't say too much of anything, but any man with any type of experience in discernment knows that this woman's been used up. Okay, she's miserable. She's miserable. She's been through there. She's been ran through and used up. She basically done hoard herself out. I mean, you can just see it. You can see it in her eyes. So, you know, she's going on a rant because nobody's taking her seriously. And she feels entitled to have a husband. So here's the thing. A woman like this, yeah, she can get a husband. She can most definitely get a husband. She can. It'll be to her destruction, though. It would. You know, and I'm just going to let the scripture speak on it, just to expound on what I'm talking about. We're going to go to Book of Sirach. Book of Sirach, chapter 25, starting at verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So, yeah, that says a lot right there. So, you know, the men of Yahweh definitely isn't dealing with a woman like this. The men of Yahweh won't even take this woman as a concubine. Yeah, she a wicked woman. We'd rather dwell in the house with a lion or a dragon. A lion or a dragon. And a lion can be any big cat. Any big cat. Shoot, I'd rather dwell with a dang mountain lion or a cougar than with a wicked woman. I'd rather dwell with an alligator or a large viper than with a wicked woman. An alligator or a viper, any type of dangerous reptile can be considered a dragon. That's how serious it is. Because this woman, she'll bring nothing but chaos and destruction to a man's life. Because she's full of demons. She's full of destructive demons. So much so that it's showing in her countenance. Yeah. Sirach chapter 25, verse 17. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Isn't this woman's countenance darkened? Look at her. Look at her in action.
This is in my trunk. I bet y'all marry me now. I'm gonna fucking throw y'all in my trunk and lock you guys in my motherfucking closet. I don't become a fucking wife.
Yeah, all that wickedness just changed her whole countenance. All that wickedness there, right? Yeah, and you simps out here who will go ahead and still try to take her serious because, you know, you just that desperate for a woman. You know what I'm saying? You that desperate for a woman, you gonna try to take her as serious, right? This for y'all. Sirach 26, verse 7. Sirach 26, verse 7. An evil wife is as a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her as though he had held a scorpion. So yeah, imagine trying to hold a scorpion. You juggling the scorpion not to get benched and not excuse Salakia. You juggling the scorpion from hand to hand, trying to dodge your fingers and your hands from getting pinched from its clasp and stung from its stinger. Yeah, that's what having a wicked wife is like. An evil wife is like yoke shaking to and fro. So imagine having a yoke across your neck and your arms, and it's being shaken, and you trying to remain steady, and it's being shaken, and you got this big old lock around your arms and your neck, and it's being shaken left and right, front and back, and you can't stand still, and you just in the uncomfortable position of being trapped in that yoke. Yeah, that's how it is to have a woman like this as a wife. Sirach 26, verse 8. A drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. Yeah, this woman didn't cover up her own shame. Before she started her rant, she got all front to the camera. Look what she did. Look what she did. She walked all the way back. She wanted you to get a full sight of all her curvature. She posed and wanted all her viewers to get a full eye view of her curvature. Look like she got waist beads on too. You already know what that is. You know what time she on with them waist beads. We already know what time she's on with those waist beads. And the fact that she wore this outfit, she knew what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. All this was planned. Every time these women get in front of the camera to start their shenanigans, they know exactly what they're doing. All that is methodically planned. Don't be fooled. She knew she was going to wear these tight-ass pants, these damn spandex, and rant about not having a husband before she even got turned the damn camera on to do so. Yeah, a drunken woman and a gatter abroad. She a gatter abroad. Because she's moving like this in an unshameful way. Sirach chapter 26, verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahweh. So these women, all they deal with is simps. That's why she's dissatisfied, because she's letting simps run in and out of her. She's letting simps run in and out of her, and none of those simps she's dealing with want to take her seriously. One eventually will, but it'll be to her destruction, and it'll be his destruction. One eventually will. It won't be hard for her to find one of these simps to take her ass seriously. It's just the fact that the ones that probably want to take her seriously, she don't want to take seriously. So that's why she on here acting as if she's just this single woman twiddling her thumbs. All that's bullshit. And we're going to go to Sirach chapter 26, verse 24, and finish it off here. This is Sirach chapter 26, verse 24. A dishonest woman contempleth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. So a dishonest woman like this, she's gonna cause shame in the life of a man. I mean, because look, she don't have any shame her damn self. Shoot, she probably been drinking. She probably done some drugs earlier. It's no telling. But we can damn sure see she's full of spirits and her soul is depleted. It ain't hard to tell, especially for men of Yahweh. It ain't hard for us to read you damn washed up, soggy assholes. It ain't hard for us to read y'all asses. But nonetheless, I'm going to end this here. Happy Pentecost to everybody. Yeah, Pentecost starts tonight, this evening, the evening of May 25th. Yep, so right at sundown, we observe Pentecost from sundown today to sundown tomorrow. So, getting the scriptures. I may post a couple of scriptures pertaining to Pentecost later on, but just know that we're going to be observing Pentecost at sundown of May 25th all the way to sundown of May 26th. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Shalom.